Hi, my name is Rosemary, and I'm Chris's mom, Kristen's mom, and I wanted to do a video for parents who have children who are transgender so that I could share my experience of what I'm going through, and hopefully that could be helpful to other people. I think it might be interesting to start with the time, the day, the night I found out that Chris is transgender, and kind of go through that, and then focus on the important points that I felt about that night and what's really important to me as we move forward through this process. So Chris had come over for dinner, and we'd had a really nice dinner and some great conversations at my house with my husband and Chris and Brad. And we were having a conversation about being authentic to yourself, and always in life to be your authentic self. And after we finished the conversation, Chris went home. A little while later, the phone rang. It was Chris, and he said, "I need you to come over to my apartment. I have something that I need to talk to you about." And so I had known for weeks that there was something big on Chris's mind. He made reference to it, and I said a number of times, whatever it is, it'll be fine. You need to talk about it, but something's there. And so I was kind of almost waiting for this phone call. Anyway, I went over by myself, and I went into the apartment and could see that Chris was really nervous, just really nervous. And he handed me his phone with an email message on it, 253. I couldn't see it that well, so I put my glasses on and started to read it, and I didn't understand it at first. To be quite honest with you, I really didn't know a whole lot about transgender, and so I couldn't really get it. And until I read the part that said that he felt that his whole life he should have been a woman. And then I got it, and then I understood. But there were still a bajillion questions that I had. And so as we talked, I realized that this was no fly-by-night deal for Chris. Of course it wouldn't be, but I think as a parent that had no idea really, you start to think, oh, wait a minute, could this really be right? Could this possibly be right? And as I spoke with Chris, there was Chris, the essence of Chris. Chris had done research. Chris had felt this from the time he was a child. Chris had already met with a psychologist. Chris was on hormone treatments already. And Chris had done work, personal work inside of himself, looking at all of this to figure, is this right? Is this real? And Chris knew inside of her entire being that, yes, this was true, this was right, this was real. So as I sat there at her apartment, and you'll see that I call Chris he and she back and forth, because there are times when I think in the past and I can only think of Chris as he. There are times I think of the present, I think of Chris as she. And so I'm in the transition myself, and as time goes on, I'll become better at it. But right now, I'm not that great at it. In my heart, I'm really great at it. In my language, not so great. At any rate, the biggest thing that I can say in experiencing this shocking news was that the conversation came back to the essence of this. I love you, Chris. I will always love you. You are my child. And whether you are male or whether you are female, I will always love you. Will it make the road easy? Is this going to be an easy journey? No, definitely not an easy journey. Because I don't want anybody to be mean to Chris. I don't want Chris to have pain. I want Chris's life to be a beautiful life, an accepting life. But the way that will happen is for me, his mother, her mother, to be a great communicator, to ask questions about the things that are going on, to be accepting of all the changes that are happening, to be supportive, to be loving, to be kind, to not be selfish. Yes, we as parents are going through this process, and we need to be loved through it as well. But our role as a parent is to love our child and to let our child know that with everything in us, we love them and we support this process. And maybe also for a while to sit and think, what would it possibly feel like if every day you woke up and in your mind you really felt that you were in the wrong body? Maybe you didn't hate your body entirely. Maybe you were able to go through many years, as Chris did, fantastically as a male. Maybe you were able to fake it really, really well. But if the soul inside of you, if that essence of who you are really was not feeling right with who you are, how could you ever want that for your child? How would you ever really want that for your child? And so I guess my message is, if you've just found out or you're going through this process, first of all, be kind to yourself. Be loving to yourself. Be loving to your child. And let your child be loving to you. And if you start with this voice of acceptance and curiosity and interest and conditional, and not conditional, and I hate that term, unconditional love, and love that is inquisitive about what's going on, love that genuinely wants to know about the process and experience the process with your child, I feel that you will be able to be as lucky as I feel I am. I haven't lost Chris. I'm learning who Chris really is, and I'm learning to find the woman inside of Chris. And that's going to be a pretty exciting journey. So that's it for today. Thank you for listening. Bye.